Okay, so the Thunderbolts asterisk or whatever it's called, Thunderbolts, had a leaked trailer from I think D23. I'm not gonna put any of the footage on it because I'm not gonna risk like getting, I don't know, taken down or attacked by Disney or whatever. But I think it looks like very very good, like really good. I'm pretty excited about it. So just like a few thoughts, I think. Number one, the biggest thing that like stands out to me is like the Thunderbolts like haven't had any production issues really. Like there's one director, like three writers, and like the only stuff that has been like weird is like the casting shifts because of the like the actor strikes last year, and scheduling conflicts. Like Steven Yeun was supposed to play Sentry, and then Ayo Edebiri was supposed to be, I think Valentina's assistant. But other than that, like they were all like amicable like dropouts. It was just because like of scheduling and like the actor strikes, and they had other things going on. Um, but yeah, the director Jake Schreier and like two of the writers, Joanna Kahlo and Lee Sung Jin, they're all involved in Beef, which apparently is really good. And then Joanna Kahlo also like wrote a little bit of The Bear, which is also like a really good show. Apparently, I haven't watched either, but like highly acclaimed shows. So we're getting talent that's proven, and there's like some cred behind this creative team, right? And they've proved to like work some magic together before. But I think like the most important thing to me is like they've had the same team the entire time of production, and like that is something that we haven't really seen a lot with. And like the best two recent Marvel movies are probably Deadpool and Wolverine, which I don't think is great, but it's good and it's a fun time and it's like it has clear vision. And then like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and like James Gunn and then Ryan Reynolds being like the main creatives behind that, like consistent. They got their vision and they were allowed to like run with it, and so I'm excited that like there's at least consistency there. And I think the second thing that like really excites me is like the story setup. Like I think this movie, like for being a movie about like anti-heroes and like a ragtag team of whatever, like it's gonna have a lot of great heart, and I just like, feel like the first trailer shows that. Like the first minute of the leaked trailer is Yelena talking about how she's like unfulfilled, and she thought like she would find fulfillment in her work or whatever, and she's missing something and she feels broken. And I think that's like a really interesting angle to market a movie about bad guys on. Like the fact that they're putting this out there as the first impression of the movie is huge. Like they're the ones bringing this question to the table, like the question of like what will fulfill Yelena, what will like kind of make them feel like they're worth something. Like I'm excited to explore that, I think. And there's a line towards the end of the trailer. It's something like Valentina says, the world only has bad guys and worse guys, or like something like that. And I think we have like a good set of characters to explore the idea of like good like people can be bad, or if like bad people can like be good or like be redeemed, or if it's okay if they're like not good or whatever, or if they're in this morally gray, which like the MCU has never really done great with the morally gray. But I'm excited. I'm hopeful. And like Bucky and John Walker, they clearly have a bunch of baggage. And Taskmaster and Ghost, like they've basically been used as weapons all their life. And so I think there's a lot of good stuff here that we can play with. And then lastly, I just think like this is a very specific kind of team up setup, right? Like the Guardians, it's like, oh, like people just kind of come together, and the Avengers, there was a recruitment process, right? But like I think we're seeing a bunch of bad guys or anti-heroes being recruited into a team together, and there's like a lot of built-in reasons why like each character like shouldn't want to do this. Like one, it's like government work, like no one wants to work for the government, right? And then two, like it's to work with like not just work for the government, but work for the government with a bunch of other random people that they don't trust, right? So like I think in a story like this, like it is really easy for all of these people to walk away and be like, this is not worth it, right? But like for this kind of movie to work, you have to nail the reasons why they continue to stick around and why they become a team, right? Like you have to nail the character motivations like for each individual and like why they're here. And I think with Valentina manipulating them, kind of like I think we're gonna like see a Valentina who's gonna be able to cut through like people's emotions and their insecurities, and like I think we're gonna get to play with that a lot, which I think is very exciting. And something that David Harbour said in an interview is that um, like Yelena is a very broken, incomplete person, and like even though Red Guardian isn't really the thing that will complete her, like there's like a sense of comfortability there, and that's why she keeps on going back to him, and like stuff like that. Like I'm interested to see that stuff play out, and like from what it looks like in the trailer, I really don't know any of the plot details, but I'm gonna kind of like guess here. It feels like so maybe like the American government tried to give Sentry basically in the comics, he's a guy with like a super soldier serum, which is supposed to be like 100 times more powerful than Captain America, and then like they give it to him and he gets really strong, but then he also has like this alter ego, the Void, which is like super evil and dark and bad, and like so basically they like wipe everyone's memories of Sentry and even wipe Sentry's memories of himself, and just to like kind of incapacitate him. And basically it looks like the Sentry is kind of like locked up somewhere, or like, yeah, he's definitely forgotten who he is. It seems like the government wants to kill him, but they can't. And so maybe like they send in individually all of these different people. Like they send in Yelena, John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster. Those are like the 4 that we see in that scene where they're kind of fighting around and like doing the cool thing. Like, which honestly, I'm all over the place, but like that like knife scene where like they're throwing the knife around and seeing all the powers and Ghost is phasing, like that stuff, like that sold me on the movie already. There's gonna be a lot of creativity with the action, I think. Even though like most of them are like not really powerful. But yeah, like it seems like all 4 of them are gonna be sent individually trying to like kill Sentry, and they're just gonna be locked up there. So like either Sentry dies or like they die too. Like they're expendable. And then they figure out some way to escape, and they kind of don't know Sentry's deal yet, and they don't know that he's a bad guy or like he's powerful or whatever. And then they're gonna figure out that like there's like this whole like probably conspiracy and like who to trust, whatever. And then Yelena is on the run probably because they escape. I think it seems like there's like this like shot of them in a van, and like Red Guardian is driving and they're like on the run or whatever, and so maybe they're on the run from the government or something. And then Bucky gets involved in like, the political side, and they end up like coming together as a team and trying to threaten Valentina. But like I think that final shot at the end where like all 6 of them are walking up to Valentina, it's like they are not trying to play her games, but like she's still in control. Like I think it's gonna be a lot of interesting things like that, where yeah, I don't know, that's my like best guess of what's going on here. But I think like the movie is going to succeed or fail based on how good that is, how good each character motivation is, and how they're roped into this kind of team up thing. And I think the last thing that I'm really excited about, like Bucky being a congressman, which is not confirmed. Like there's this interview after Comic-Con where Wyatt Russell, the guy who plays John Walker, he says like, oh, Bucky, he's like a congressman, right? Like, and Wyatt Russell, after that, like Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, none of them like even acknowledge it. And so like there's no confirmation anywhere else. And like maybe you can analyze that video all you want, but like maybe it wasn't supposed to be revealed, and like we don't know if this is true, but like we do see in this like leaked trailer, Bucky is dressed up in like nice suits a little bit for like maybe 2, 3, 4 shots. And I think that this like idea is like absolutely fascinating. Like Valentina is like this shady figure, like she's probably like assembling this team, right? And like there's the idea of like a politician who's also like the leader of like some underground black ops team who's like also a superhero. Like imagine like she assembles and like recruits Bucky to be the leader of the Thunderbolts. And I think that really juxtaposes with Sam Wilson in Captain America Brave New World like in a really interesting way. Like, and there's also this rumor that the asterisk at the end of the Thunderbolts title, it's meant to be changed to Dark Avengers or something at the end of the movie, kind of like how like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was changed to Captain America and the Winter Soldier at the end of the movie or the show. And like imagine if like, yeah, Bucky is leading this like secret shady government team while like Sam is publicly trying to like lead the Avengers. And like I think that's a really interesting landscape for what superhero teams are like, and also just like adding government and political like weights and factors into like being a superhero. And I think that's something we've been needing like ever since Endgame. Like people in the world talk about the Avengers, but like we don't know who the Avengers are. Like White Vision is somewhere else, like Tony's dead and War Machine is a Skrull or whatever. And so I think it's interesting. I think it could be good. I have hopes for this one. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited. The action looks good. One little thing that I think was stupid, like part of a montage of like when like the trailer kicks into high gear, like Yelena's like, oh, we've all done bad things, you know, we've done like shadow ops for the government, we've gone on like assassination attempts, and then we've also stolen from government labs or like whatever, like 3 different things, and like 2 of them it's like, yeah, shadow ops and like assassinating people, and then like what, like stealing from government labs, like whatever, like, you know, I think that was just funny. Like that was something in the trailer that's like goofy and like does not hold the same weight as the other ones. But anyways, overall excited. I think before I did not care about Thunderbolts at all, but like seeing this trailer, it sold me, I think. So I don't know. Marvel's good at making trailers. I think the Guardians trailers and Guardians 3, Captain America Brave New World trailers have been all good, and then the Thunderbolts trailer now being good. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting caught and teased with again, but we'll see.